The Pittsburgh Steelers have a major dilemma on their hands. Who to start? Alex Highsmith or Nick Herbig at the edge position? But first, before I get more into it, make sure you subscribe to the channel, turn notifications for everything Pittsburgh Steelers news and updates. Also like this video. Now, let's get right back into it. So, Mike Tomlin and the Steelers have a really good problem on their hands. They have 3 really great edge defenders, pass rushers, run stuffers at the outside linebacker position. And it's going to get tricky now because you're not going to bench TJ Watt. He's going to be on one side. But who will play opposite of him? Will it be Alex Highsmith or Nick Herbig, who is second in the league behind TJ Watt in forced fumbles and second on the team in sacks for the season? So that's the interesting question that will be brought up and brought to attention this week. Because in the past however many weeks, you didn't have to worry about that. Who will be a starter? Because this is the first time since week 3 that all 3 guys will be healthy and playing in the same game together. That is TJ Watt, Alex Highsmith, and Nick Herbig. So who will start opposite TJ Watt? Because you're obviously not going to bench the defensive player of the year and have TJ Watt off the bench. So TJ Watt is the best defensive player of the year. He will be on one side. But who will be opposite of him? Will it be Alex Highsmith or Nick Herbig? Because Alex Highsmith, this is basically his role for the past few years now. But they did draft Nick Herbig last season, and he's playing superior to the rest of the players, not only on the team from getting sacks, but also the rest of the league as well. And he's really the best kept secret in the NFL. But I'll get more into that in a different video. So are you going to go back to Alex Highsmith? Me personally, I believe they will. I believe they're going to go back to Alex Highsmith. You paid him the huge contract not too long ago. And you're going to have Nick Herbig coming off the bench and kind of have those guys rotating. More than likely, Alex Highsmith, he will be on a snap limit. But it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out for the rest of the season. Because this isn't just a 1-week thing. This is going to be the rest of the season type of thing. When all these guys are here and come playoff time, will it be Nick Herbig or Alex Highsmith? You look at Alex Highsmith, and over the last few years, he has been great at getting to the quarterback, getting pressures. Last year, he was really good at getting pressures before his injuries this season, and also he's been good at stopping the run as well. But then on the other hand, you have Nick Herbig, who is younger, who's someone who can also do everything on the football field, and seems to always make a splash play whenever needed. Every single game so far in the AFC North, so far this season against Cincinnati, Cleveland, and Baltimore, he's had a forced fumble. He's also had a forced fumble against the Chargers as well. And it just seems like every single time you need something from him, he delivers. And it's a splash play that turns the game around. And that's what he did last week against Cincinnati, causing that fumble, putting the Steelers up 2 possessions after a return for a touchdown. So Nick Herbig is not only good at getting to the quarterback, but he's also good at causing fumbles, and he's also good at stopping the run. So that's something that Alex Highsmith has to worry about, because even though they're teammates, they want the best for each other, you also want playing time. And Alex Highsmith, it should only push him forward to play better, because he can't lose his spots. And if he does lose a spot, then he'll be out of here soon. So Alex Highsmith, he really needs to step up. I believe the Pittsburgh Steelers have a dilemma on their hands, because I think Nick Herbig is getting to the point where he's starting to show out that he's better than Alex Highsmith. So will the Steelers turn away from Alex Highsmith and go in Nick Herbig's direction? What will the team do? And this is the dilemma Mike Tomlin has on his hands, but it's a good one. You want this problem on your team. This is actually quite funny, because this is the same problem the Pittsburgh Steelers had a few years ago when it was TJ Watt, and then it was Bud Dupree and Alex Highsmith. And the Steelers went the direction of the younger player. They went the direction of getting rid of Bud Dupree, not re-signing him for agency, and going to have Alex Highsmith, who was a younger player, who was someone who had more production, and someone they believed in. So, obviously, it was a different time because of the injury to Bud Dupree's ACL, and you didn't know if he was going to be the same player, but that's what the Steelers did, going more in Alex Highsmith's direction. So this is going to be interesting. Will the Steelers do it this time? You have someone on a huge contract in Alex Highsmith. You have someone on a rookie contract in Nick Herbig. After this season, will you go away from Alex Highsmith and go in Nick Herbig's direction and make a trade and try to get something in return of Alex Highsmith? Or do you like the fact that you have 3 edge defenders and you're just going to go play out from there? Because it could be a benefit in disguise, because injuries do happen. Like we've seen, Alex Highsmith, he's only played 6 games this season. You look at Nick Herbig, he's only played 7 games this season. So they've both been injured. And when one gets injured, it seems like the other one's not injured. And that's how they've been able to stay afloat. Because Alex Highsmith's missed time, Nick Herbig steps up, plays great. Nick Herbig goes down with the injury, Alex Highsmith steps up and plays great. And then Alex Highsmith gets injured, that's a week that Nick Herbig returns. So it's been on and off like this all season. So this could be a blessing in disguise, having these 3 great edge defenders. So maybe you don't have to move on from Alex Highsmith to open up a window for Nick Herbig. Maybe you find a way to play all 3 of them at the same time. But that's going to be the biggest thing for them. The biggest problem for the Steelers. How do you get all 3 of these great players on the field at the same time? And if you can't, that's what I'm saying. The Steelers may have to move on from one of them. And more likely that would be Alex Highsmith, because he is on the higher contract. So that's a dilemma the Steelers have moving forward into the offseason. But they also have a dilemma right now on their hands for their current situation, because you want to know who will be playing. Will it be Alex Highsmith or Nick Herbig? So they have a dilemma on the playing field. Who will see more playing time? Because you can't play all 3 of them. You really can't. And yes, you could blitz some of the players, the outside linebackers up the middle, and have with 2 rushing off the edge, 1 rushing up the middle. But even then, it's outside linebacker rushing against a center and guard. You really don't want that. That's why edge defenders are really good, because they could get the edge and are fast off the edge. And when you play them inside, it's more easier to get stuffed. So it's not like you want to play all 3 of them on the field at the same time in every down situations. It's going to be only certain instances. So you want to know who will be playing. And that's why they have a problem, because they all been playing great. From Nick Herbig to Alex Highsmith to DJ Watt, they've all been playing really solid, and you can't really decide on Alex Highsmith or Nick Herbig. Me personally, if I did have to decide though, I would give it the opportunity back to Alex Highsmith for this week's game. But truly, I believe Nick Herbig right now is a better player. From pass rushing to causing turnovers and to run stuffing, I believe he's been better than Alex Highsmith has this season. And TJ Watt is obviously TJ Watt. So that's what I would do if I was a Steelers coach. I would give Alex Highsmith that one last opportunity. Hey, this is your job. Don't lose it. But if he can't and he doesn't do a solid job, I believe Nick Herbig has earned the opportunity this season to be the starter opposite of TJ Watt. But obviously this isn't my decision. This is Mike Tomlin's decision, and this is why they have a dilemma on their hands. Because this was basically what happened a few years ago at the guard position with Dave DeCastro. He gets injured. Kevin Dotson was playing great. Kevin Dotson was a really good guard. But then the Pittsburgh Steelers, they go back to Matt Filer, and they go back to Dave DeCastro, and then their run game wasn't the same. And it made you wonder, hey, why didn't they just stick with Kevin Dotson? Obviously, you want to give the starting job back to the person who's been there for a while, who's been doing good for however many years. So is this like the same thing with Alex Highsmith, where it's just like, he's been the guy? Are you going to take the guy's opportunity away because he got injured and give it to the younger player? Or because he's back now, you're going to give it back to him, and it's going to have you wondering, hey, should you just stuck with Nick Herbig? Just like, hey, should you have stuck with Kevin Dotson and started him in that one playoff game at right guard? Because now, look where he is. So that's the Pittsburgh Steelers dilemma, and it's going to be an interesting one. But at the end of the day, it is also a really great problem that every team wishes they had. And let me know your thoughts down in the comments below on what you would do. Would you give the job back to Alex Highsmith, the starter opposite of TJ Watt? Or do you believe Nick Herbig should be the person opposite because of the way and the job that he has done this season? Or do you believe they should just find a way to have all 3 of them on the field at the same time? It doesn't matter how, just get it done, get all 3 of them on the field, even if you have to rush 2 off of one side. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. And also, make sure you subscribe to this channel and turn notifications for everything Pittsburgh Steelers news, updates, highlights, analysis reports, everything surrounding Pittsburgh Steelers. Whether that's game and film breakdown, and whether that's rumors, I've covered all. I'll continue to cover all as the season goes along, as we get into the playoffs here shortly. and even into the off season. I covered all the last 2 off seasons, and I'll cover these off seasons upcoming as well. So stay tuned to this channel, like, comment, subscribe. This is the best spot for everything Pittsburgh Steelers news, especially if you want to watch it and listen and not have to read it. And until next time, I'll see you guys all later. I'm out. Peace.